Listen, I will not lie to you, I promise.
Okay, welcome back, everyone, or I guess welcome back to me. Sorry about that 21-day hiatus. I just didn't want to do a half-ass show, and I just didn't care about whatever subjects or topics were coming in. Well, we didn't really have any topics coming in because nothing interesting was happening in the news. But after having this time, I'm actually ready to do another show. I'm actually kind of excited to do it. So, in any case, once again, welcome back. I'm none other than, as you might have guessed, Angry Vegan Cyclist, for the 24th installment of the AVC show. Yeah, so most of my topics today are provided by none other than, we gotta pick our battles, right? So, anyway, I think that's all I really had in mind in regards to housekeeping, so we'll just dive straight into the first topic, I guess. Okay, so, what the get the shit out of my face. I want to see the pictures of the, okay, here we go. So this is some shitty slideshow article, but obviously it's a topic that a lot of people have been talking about right now. So, from the Daily Mail, vegan influencers chilling final post days before starving to death. Which, yeah. I mean, it's just, we've heard crazier stories, but this is just, I guess, maybe I haven't talked about it on this channel quite yet. As ironically enough, as you imagine, I've talked very little about veganism. I've maybe made like 1-2 videos talking remotely about it, and even then I don't have the same opinion as a lot of vegans, as you might imagine. But I'm completely overlooking the fact that I'm just a fake vegan. It's just part of my name. But with that said, I still have a very, I'd like to say, unique opinion on the matter. And I don't regret going and spending my time being a vegan. I didn't really have any huge health changes, but really a lot of it just comes to, I guess the beginning, middle, and end of it is just really calories in, calories out. You can split hairs about like, okay, well, you're going up the energy pyramid, and with up the energy pyramid is the concentration gradient, and you're exposed to less toxins. But then you run the slight chance of certain deficiencies in this and that, and you can just go fucking on and for days. But a lot of people get, and this is a lot more respectful than I usually put it. A lot of people who, how do we even start with this? So, the problem with the diet is not the diet. Your body will find, it has a checklist of macronutrients, fat, carbs, protein, and a long list of micronutrients that some of which it can produce from other ones. For example, you only need 9 amino acids. These are called the essential amino acids. And you can make the other, 19? No. So there's like 21 or 22 amino acids. Okay, fuck it, let's just double check. List of amino acids. So, okay, how many? There are 21 amino acids that you need in order for your cells to reproduce. But you only need 9 to produce the other, I can't do math right now, 12. So if you have enough of the first 9 amino acids, you can, every cell in your body can reconfigure those 9 into the other 12 for a total 21 amino acids to do that is the composition of the majority of your body. So, before anyone starts fucking talking to me about protein for the billionth time here, there's your answer. Now, the issue with vegans like this one here, I already know what's going on. It has fuck all to do with micronutrients. This woman is clearly starving to death. No matter what diet you eat, I don't care if it's just one piece of bacon a day, which is like what, 150, 200 calories, you're going to lose a lot of weight and you're going to look like this in a few weeks. Okay? This is a calorie problem. This is absolutely fucking anything to do with being vegan. Now, this is talking about, okay, so this woman's on a raw vegan diet, which means that no cooked food, which just means fruit and vegetables. So, of course, people don't count calories. If she counted calories and then she realized, okay, well, maybe I should hit about 1,500, 2,000 calories a day. That's going to be expensive. That's a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables. But if she eats that amount of calories, and even acknowledging like how fiber can reduce the bioavailability of your food, meaning that the more, and the absolute most simply put way, the more fibrous the food is, means more of the macro and micronutrients within the food are entrapped within shells of fiber. Less of it is actually absorbed into your bloodstream and then transferred to all of your body cells. So, what was I going with that? Even acknowledging the bioavailability loss in high fiber or cellularized nutrients, if she sticks roughly within that calorie range, this wouldn't happen. She wouldn't starve to death. But because she isn't, because she's, oh, well, I guess I feel full, or probably she might be anorexic, or maybe she's trying to make a statement. Like a lot of vegans, they're super fucking political about it, and I know it makes me cringe too. But the reasons for this is absolutely almost nothing to do with her diet, other than the fact that she's just not eating enough. So, and what bugs me about what honestly kind of annoys me about people who look at this is that the first thing they think is, oh, because of B12 deficiency, or like all of a sudden people are fucking concerned about all these micro and macronutrients, and all of a sudden they're all amateur dietitians. just because someone pointed out that they shouldn't eat meat, and people are so fucking defensive about it because they're just children, really. And I just don't have patience for these people. As an ex-vegan who isn't even vegan anymore. So, okay, here in this first paragraph, so she also does this thing called dry fasting, where she wouldn't even drink water. So I don't really know the reasoning behind it. It's been a while since I've heard about it, but I guess it's the belief that it goes on the principle that, okay, well, if exposing your body to certain stresses will strengthen it against it. But dehydrating yourself doesn't make you necessarily more hydrated, because you just piss out all your electrolytes, and because you're also starving, you have no glycogen, so then your muscles cannot retain water, you get really bad cramps, you lose a ton of weight, way more weight than you should be, and then you end up looking like this. It's just like, I think what's also going on is that, okay, well, a lot of times people get, like, ever since intermittent fasting became a thing, or even keto, as much as fucking stupid as I really think it is, I mean, it does take a certain amount of discipline to say no to about 2/3 of the food that's presented to you. That does take discipline. And then people go a step further, oh, well, you know what? I'm so disciplined, I'm not even going to eat. And that's why, like, intermittent fasting or prolonged fasting is considered an accomplishment. And then people pat themselves on the back. And then they pat themselves enough times for long enough, and then they eventually look like this, just on the verge of starving to death. Like, what was that guy's name? Like, Tim Sheaf. He went, like, 30 days without eating food. And he was just, like, basically a vegetable. Like, he didn't have the energy in his brain or his muscles to even get out of bed, or, like, it's as a competitive athlete and a generally high-strung person, I understand how powerful it is, how addictive it is to be compelled by this compulsion to, I guess, to be compulsed to achieve things, to have a sense to like pride, whether or not you're willing to admit it. Pride I would say, is an essential part of human existence, unless you're just like profoundly retarded and like cannot even think, like, understand what that word means. But everyone to some degree is driven by their pride, and what you are proud of is what sets apart you from me, from the next guy, from Zana de Art. So she's proud of starving herself because her morals, or because I don't fucking know, because the animals, because apparently eating less is causing less of a ecological impact, or okay, right, no, I remember what it was. So I remember there's like a scene in this movie called Okja. It's like this, it's a Korean movie about this little girl who tries to save like this elephant looking thing. It's been so many years since I watched this movie. Interesting, somewhat worth a watch. But this was just basically, this movie was like a low-key shill for like the ALF, the Animal Liberation Front. I'll show you a real quick picture of that. Which is a activist / quote-unquote terrorist organization that is basically animal rights through vandalism, like letting animals loose in like a field, or invading farms, all kinds of weird shit. And so I remember in one of the scenes, like one of the characters, forgot his name, the one with the blonde hair, he fainted because he wasn't eating enough. And he wasn't eating enough because he understood that, okay, well, the more food I eat, the more demand I create for agriculture, which, even though I assume he's a vegan, even though he doesn't eat animals, well, industrialized agriculture kills mice, bugs, whatever the fuck. So then to achieve this fucking Jainist ideal, well, people literally starve themselves, and they think that's virtue, which is super Christian if you think about it. It's about sacrifice, destruction of self for some kind of like for the afterlife, what it used to be. But now it's just virtue signaling, really. It's even worse than virtue signaling. It's just self-destructive virtue signaling. And if that's the hill people literally want to starve and die on, I mean, what the fuck can I do? But it's just peak Westernism. Like, this is just only a thing that I observe in, like, Christian or post-Christian societies. I don't know. But then again, like, we have Buddhist monks that are kind of the same shit. They think that it's cool to quote, all suffering comes from desire. To desire nothing means to suffer nothing. And then the Buddhists are just basically the same thing. Starving people who are fucking proud of it. Which is cringe as fuck. Why? Is this waiting for death? Why not just kill yourself immediately? I mean, like, I'm probably gonna get this stream taken down, but whatever. Fuck you, Susan. Like, it's just, why wait? Why give the foreplay? Just start fucking already. Like, why waste the time? Anyway, so I know that kind of went all over the place. That was just a bunch of splits upon split of the fractalized idea. But yeah, let's keep going through this slideshow. Okay, so slide 1: vegan influencers chilling final post days before starving to death. A vegan raw food influencer who lived on an extreme diet of exotic fruit and shared a chilling final post days before she reportedly died from starvation and exhaustion. Zana Samsonova, figure 1, originally from Russia and known as Zana de Art on social media, had been on the raw plant-based diet for 10 years that consisted of fruits, sunflower seed sprouts, fruit smoothies, and juices. There were also periods where the 39-year-old would practice dry fasting, where she would refuse to eat or drink anything for days. And here's an interesting little picture. I don't know if you can see it, but it says, "Life is meaningless but worth living, provided you recognize it is meaningless," which, ironically, I agree. So I guess this is, I don't know what kind of like logical operation this is, but when everything is X, then nothing is X. But then if nothing is X, then everything is X. So if everything in life is meaningless, then why is it worth living? But because everything is meaningless, well, now it's up to you to just do whatever the fuck you want. So then everything's meaningful now. Meaning and interest are often correlated, duh. So if everything is boring, well, what else do you have to do other than just look around and entertain yourself with everything that comes to you? But of course, this is a fine demonstration of law divergent behavior, because even though Samsonova here, and I agree about a very fundamental edict about life and reality, well, our behavior is very different. So I guess she found meaning in starving herself and virtue signaling to the vegan gods about mitigating harm as practicable and possible, as stated by the Vegan Society. So yes, you could say veganism is now becoming quasi-religious. I guess which is kind of why I left, but not really. But anyway. So, wow, this is her. This is her before she's probably a few weeks into the diet and still not eating enough. I guess the other thing about about a raw vegan diet, or any diet that's just hand over fist majority of fruits and vegetables, that, like, so people obviously, they don't count calories. Duh. Geez, AVC, how many times do you have to repeat that? Well, it's bears repeating, because that would have stopped her from fucking starving to death. I think what also happens is that, first, is that a lot of fiber and water in your stomach. That's one of the, I guess, 4 to 5 signals that tell your body, okay, well, you've had enough to eat. Stop eating. Like, obviously, when your stomach hurts because you have to unbutton your pants and take your belt off and probably, I don't know, fucking take your pants off. Yeah, you probably don't want to keep eating, right? So whenever one does that enough and tells him or herself, I must continue this diet because I want to lose weight, or because I want to virtue signal to some religious edict, or some other rule, or because this is the source of my vanity, is to be skinny and weak. then the behavior reinforces itself, and then the hunger doesn't really bother her anymore. And then eventually, after a few weeks, well, she just doesn't get hungry anymore because her BMR is dropping, her basal metabolic rate. So then she's not burning the calories because of exhaustion, which results in the exhaustion. So then she doesn't get hungry, and then she doesn't eat, which continues to drop her energy expenditure, which continues to reduce her appetite, which causes her to starve to death. So it's a predictable process, at least to me. And yeah, I mean, calories in, calories out. I don't fucking care what gimmick or what bullshit seminar or product you wasted your money on. The rule still stands. And yes, there's maybe about, well, depending on what you eat. Like for beans, I heard it's like 60 or 80, 70 to 80% bioavailability. Meaning, if you eat, so I guess another factoid. So let's say, let me check real quick. So 100 grams of black beans. Okay, so 100 grams of black beans. Let's say that's about 130 calories. So 130 calories and at 70 to 80% bioavailability. So 130 times 0.7. At 70%, that's 91 calories. At 80%, that is 104 calories. So 130 calories of black beans, which is tested in a bomb calorimeter, which is literally they burn the food. Then measure how much it heats up the water placed above it. Let me see if I can find a picture as a reference. By the way, this is one of the ways they calculate the nutrition facts on the back of a piece of food. So, in short, let's say these 130 calories of beans. So they literally burn the beans, and then the amount of heat energy that comes out of it until there's nothing left. They measure how much this heats up the water, and then they decide that's how many calories there is. Now, obviously, whenever you as a human eat the beans, like fiber gets burned, the energy is released. But fiber is metabolically inactive in human intestines, and for the most part, even in bovine intestines. But they have 4 stomachs, and then they vomit in their mouths and chew it again, and then digest it a second time, and that's how they break down more of the fiber. So, understanding this, long story short, whenever you eat beans, only 70 to 80% of the calories actually make it to your blood. So, what the hell did that have to do with this slide? I mean, so yeah, fiber makes you feel full to some degree. Unless you eat nothing but fiber, then your stomach's like, don't fucking bullshit me. That was all fiber. Give me food. And then you get hungry again. But if you mix it with something else, often that's where the magic happens. By the way, if you want to lose weight, fruits and vegetables clearly a way to go, and you wouldn't be short in your micronutrients either. I don't know why the hell I talked about it. Okay, let's read the second slide. Okay, vegan influencer's chilling final post before starving to death. Miss Samsonova, who hadn't drank water for more than 6 years and instead replaced it with fruit and vegetable juices, died on July 21st in Malaysia. The influencer, who had over 10,000 Instagram followers and had been traveling across Asia for the past 17 years, reportedly died from a cholera-like infection that was exacerbated by her extreme restrictive eating. Her mother told Russian newspaper Vechernaya Kazan. In the days before her death, she said shared a shocking post which read, "Life is meaningless," as disclosed earlier, posting the selfie on her Instagram page days before the news of her death emerged. She wrote, "Life is meaningless, but worth living provided you recognize it's meaningless." So, okay, all right. So, it wasn't starvation. She didn't really starve to death, but she got a cholera infection that she probably would have been able to fight off if her immune system had more energy to work with and calories. And she probably wouldn't have died, at least not so quickly, because her body will her body. When you're starving, obviously your body sees that. Okay, well, what are the most essential functions? Brain and the heart. Brain, heart, lungs, and maybe hopefully tomorrow the digestive system. So, the first thing that goes is skeletal muscle. Like, duh. Like it's probably within one's own like genetic or epigenetic interest to have functional muscle to move and to evade threats and to go forage for food. But is it necessary for immediate survival? No. Your body's smarter than you and has a priority list. So okay, time to get rid of the skeletal muscle. Let's deaminate it. Let's do some deaminatory gluconeogenesis, which means you break down your muscle, deaminate the proteins, and then perform this reverse glycolysis to make glucose. Glucose, energy. Now the brain is something to work with. The heart is something. Well, the heart generally prefers to burn fat, but it can burn glucose as well. So once that starts to go, then well, what's next? Skin. There's small amount like fat in your skin. Fat is like a structural thing. It keeps your organs from smashing into each other. That's called visceral fat. There's also like, I guess subdermal fat, which also like it gives your skin some flexibility, and also it's also an energy store. But of course, whenever you're starving this much, well, we got to find energy. So that fat gets burned. And then after that, it's like there's just more muscle loss. Maybe certain like I guess cramping becomes a huge issue then, because like whenever you try to physically move, well, there's no water because all the glycogen's gone because that was all burned up as energy. So now you have very bad cramps, which just forces people to not like physically move until eventually there's nothing left. So yeah. The immune system definitely goes to shit long after because immune systems are very energy intensive. I don't know if anyone here is trains as much as I do, but yeah, an athletic body is also generally more resistant to illness too because of the greater energy availability. Even after, even after brief periods of caloric deficit. Your body, every cell in your body prepares energy ahead of time, and that's what training is. Like you stress your body to, let's say, okay, we need more energy to perform this work, which is usually again athletic training. Then your body recognizes your body's smarter than you and prepares ahead of time. Okay, tomorrow we're going to experience this stress again, so we will prepare a lot of energy ahead of time in the form of intramyocellular lipids, which is great for athletes, but terrible for sedentary people because it blocks glucose from entering the cell, as well as intramyocellular glycogen in your muscles, literally carbs in your muscle cells ready to go, as well as larger mitochondria. Larger mitochondria means that it's a bigger power plant for your cell. Like the mitochondria gets longer. Here, let me see if I can find one real quick. Myocyte in athletes. Okay, that was some shitty typing. Okay, I can't find any pictures of it. But yeah, these little things, yeah, so in trained subjects, inside their muscle cells, their mitochondria are longer, meaning they have greater surface area to absorb more fat and glucose and produce more energy, which is more energy for your immune system to be working too, while still providing energy for your brain and muscles to think and move. So, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not like I'm sponsored by the fucking gods of athletic training, but I mean, that's quite literally the solution to the problem. And you can eat more, and then you train hard, you strengthen your body, and then you won't deal with this problem. Among literally thousands of diseases that it prevents, or if not prevent, then mitigate. It's the closest thing to the fountain of youth, but it's not marketable because people don't want to fucking exercise. So, okay, next slide. God, jeez, look at this bitch. Holy shit. Okay, the food blogger's mother, Vera Samsonova, told local news outlets that Miss Samsonova was supposed to fly home to Kazan on the day of her death. She did not approve of her daughter's extreme diet and tried to convince her to introduce more balanced eating habits, but she refused. Ms. Samsonova moved from veganism to a purely raw food diet consisting of vegetables and fruit, with the influencer sharing what she described as healthy recipes on her Instagram profile. Well, okay, all right. So, for the majority of the people in the Western world, especially the United States, they could probably use this diet. They could probably eat more fruits and vegetables. That's what doctors have been fucking telling you for how many years right now, and how many people are doing it? That's right, nobody. And that's why America's so obese. So, I guess this is almost like, so I usually like cringe whenever people say healthy fats or healthy this, healthy that. Healthy is all relative to your current state and your goals. So, like, okay, if I were to take on this diet, obviously I would start looking like this, but way quicker, considering my caloric expenditure in training and racing. If the average person did this diet, well, he or she is probably first overweight, especially if this individual's from the United States, but would probably gain a lot of health benefits from losing the weight loss, from losing that said fat. Now, how long? Now, if that individual continues to get to the point where he or she looks like me, fairly lean, kind of skinny, but still visually healthy, and then this person will be in the same state as I am. But, of course, as I said earlier, healthy is relative to current state and desired goals. So, there's nothing healthy about this woman, even though this diet is something that the majority of people probably could use. So, I personally, I encourage you to think in the same way, but I personally cannot take any people who say healthy X, Y, Z seriously. So, don't fucking come to me talking about healthy fats. Shut the fuck up. I don't take you seriously. Stop talking. Anyway, so the influencer who appeared increasingly emaciated in her social media videos as time went on would post footage of her eating lunch which consisted of a whole melon and carrot juice at times, which is like maybe 150, 200 calories. Like shit. Oh my god. In another video, Miss Samsonova told her Instagram followers how she was having cherry tomatoes, and avocado juice. What the fuck? Avocado juice for lunch. Quote, despite the fact that I guess I'll do a Russian accent. Despite the fact I can't cook fancy raw dishes, I eat very simply myself. My food is simple, no oil, no salt, no dehydrated food, and no protein. Miss Samsonova wrote in a post. Today for lunch I have a delicious avocado kefir, sweet cherry tomatoes, and ripe avocado. Bon appetit. So, real quick, okay, no protein. There are only 4 things that are not poisonous that you can put in your mouth that do not have any protein whatsoever. Water, pure starch, pure oil, and pure sugar. Only chemical isolates of fat, sugar, and water, or fat, sugar, starch, or water, fat, carbohydrate, or water, have no protein. A piece of celery has protein in it. Protein is a part of every living cell on this fucking planet. So, next time once again, as an ex-vegan who is not here to defend veganism whatsoever, shut the fuck up about protein. God damn it. Anyway, so again, protein isn't her problem. Lacking calories is the problem. Even if she ate like one scoop of protein powder, which is like 20-30 grams of protein, depending on the powder, she would still end up like this. Because her body's fucking starving to death. If you give yourself just 20 to 30 grams of protein, which is like what, 80, 100 calories, 120 calories, all that protein is going to turn into glucose. Because energy first. Energy first, anabolism later. You need to fuel the body first before you can build it. And then with the extra material, chiefly protein, but actually in some cases carbohydrate as well, which prevents the death of your muscle cells, by the way. These are what your body used to build. So, ask me about protein again. I fucking dare you. Okay, diet of infection, exhaustion, exacerbated by her raw food diet. Well, yeah, extreme caloric deficit, you mean. Miss Samsonova's friend, who she met in Thailand, told Russian news outlet 116.ru. Quote, it was scary to look at her, to be honest. Her hands were like those of my 12-year-old sister, thin. If your 12-year-old is that thin, I mean, you need to... Where the fuck is that girl's parents? God, oh my god. Another friend said they saw Miss Samsonova a few months ago in Sri Lanka, quote, looking exhausted. Quote, they sent her home to seek treatment, however she ran away again. When I saw her in Phuket, I was horrified, they said. Quote, I lived one floor above her, and every day I feared her lifeless body in the morning. I feared finding her lifeless body in the morning. I convinced her to seek treatment, but she didn't make it. Her friend added. Another friend said, Miss Samsonova's idle starvation was causing her to melt before our eyes, but she believed everything was fine. Only her eyes, merry eyes, and gorgeous hair compensated for the dreadful sight of a body tortured by idiocy. Forgive me if it sounds harsh. It's just fucking true. Come on. No need to apologize for that. One person commented on Miss Samsonova's recent post and wrote, this is just, quote, this is just pure starvation, not a healthy, raw vegan diet. I'm sorry to hear it ended badly. I wish I could have helped you out on your eating disorder. She had claimed that her 10 years on a raw plant-based diet had meant that she was in, quote, perfect health and, quote, never got the usual seasonal cold. But in 2021, Miss Samsonova traveled back to her native Russia for the first time in 9 years and immediately fell ill with Kororo. Fucking everybody. Shut the fuck up. Whatever. Okay, how is her hair so good in this condition? Holy fuck. I don't know. Anyway. So, Miss Samsonova said she'd ignored all COVID precautions before becoming, oh, look at her, so fucking... Okay, alright, I see what they're trying to do. So they're trying to spin her as like some kind of like alternative health Karen who doesn't believe the fucking like medical authorities, which really you should be skeptical. And to some degree, yeah, she is. This is just another form of like, I don't know, it's just midlife crisis, I guess. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, alright. So, okay, so it's starting to make a bit of a sense. And bizarrely claimed that she cured herself of the virus by dry fasting, where she did not drink or eat anything for the 10 days. No, I think what happened is that her test was bullshit, and she didn't really have it. Or she's just like, I don't know, is she shedding enough skin cells? Or no, it's respiratory, so maybe her alveolar lining within her lungs managed to shed it. Or maybe well, okay, when was this? If it's like 2022, then... Okay, if it's recent, okay. Oh, it's 2021. Okay, well, you know what? I don't know. In that kind of condition, like, I'm surprised how she survived. Like, normal people, like, majority of, like, somewhat healthy people, like, coronavirus is fucking nothing. But I guess for her, I'm actually surprised she didn't, like... She didn't even... She fucking made it. I don't know. I'm not a virologist. I'm just a dickhead on YouTube. What do I know? Go listen to fucking Fauci. Oh my god. She wrote on Instagram, I was in the category of people who wasn't afraid to get infected with viruses and ignored all the precautions because over the past 10 years on a raw plant-based diets I was in perfect health. And I didn't even get the usual seasonal cold. And ironically, I still got sick with COVID and was in bed for 10 days. Ms. Samsonova went on to bizarrely claim, I began to cure myself with dry fasting, since for a long time I've been practicing this method, as I can cure all ailments. The illness gradually began to recede. Already the days of dry hunger, and I was getting better and better every day. The most critical time behind me. I have overcome this disease with my unconventional treatment, which many condemn. Which is... Okay, so I know there's a small number of raw vegans who be like, oh, look, she's starving, and she survived because she's dry fasting, because the power of raw vegan diet. Go, fruits and veggies. Like, no, there's always more factors going on. There's always more factors at play. I guess if she's bedridden, well, that's your body's way of, okay, you got this disease to fight off, and it will kill you if we don't do the job, so we're going to take away your energy you normally use to walk, to speak, and I guess that's how she managed. That's my counter-argument to that. Yeah. It also it may give her a slight advantage of like all those fruits and vegetables. Well, there's all kinds of antioxidants that she's absorbing, which reduces inflammation, which reduces the metabolic stress of other parts of the body, which allows more for the immune system. And of course, COVID, like, and she's not, I don't know, she's kind of in the condition of like someone in their 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe 70s. So, I don't know. I guess it's kind of impressive. I'll have to think about it. Okay. One more stories like this. Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the report. So, okay. Yeah. Alcoholic gaming, you're welcome. That was, that's the whole fucking, that's the whole thing. That's the whole shebang. Oh, wow. Hold on. What was this? That looks like her. Man, she's kind of cute when she's not starving to death. God damn. Wow. Let's just do a quick before and after. Look at this shit. Fuck off. I do not want more from the Daily Mail. Oh, shut up. Come on. I need to go back. Okay. Let's just do a quick before and after, alright? There you go. Look at that. Jeez. I guess her face doesn't look too bad in that one. There you go. Anything for your virtue and your pride, right? Anyway. Okay. Next article. So, I just saw this in the corner of my eye at the computer at work, but fucking whatever. I don't really know what this. What is this? What the fuck does it even mean? The Ron DeSantis collapse has arrived. What? Okay, I guess we'll just read and find out. This is written by Shea Bottomley for 1945, which is like a military news journal focused on American military, I guess. Man, whatever. Okay, quote, despite what seems like countless legal problems, support among American Republican voters remains high for Donald Trump, with his lead over party rivals closing in on a monumental 40-point advantage. A New York Times and Siena College poll released on July 31st revealed that 54% of party voters would pledge for Trump in a Republican primary contest. His next closest rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, lags far behind with 17%, a full 37% percentage point difference. No other candidate achieved more than 3% of the vote. To say it's a huge lead would be an understatement. Trump's advantage means that even unity among his opponents behind a single candidate would not be enough to prevent him from becoming the Republican nominee in 2024. According to the poll, Trump leads among GOP voters in almost every demographic as well as among those on opposite sides of the political spectrum within the party. What? Poor DeSantis. Okay, well, all right, DeSantis is losing. That's what this whole thing means. Yeah, I don't fucking care. Trump's in trouble right now. I don't know if he's going to get out. So it looks like Americans are somewhat tired of the woke shit, and they're starting to be like, okay, well, maybe we'll just add a little smidgen of Republican. But are the Republicans really that different? I must ask you. And if they really, and I guess maybe the religious right's never going to come back. So then people are just kind of like this fucking like Tim Pool pseudo conservative shit. That's what that's what the future is, which I guess is a bit better. But I don't know. I mean, America's still a fucking joke. Whatever. Okay, another article from 1945. How much trouble is Hunter Biden in now? Oh, this is 2 weeks ago. Fuck. Well, I guess this is just for me then. If you guys are already caught up on it, I mean, like, well, you can go watch something else, I guess. I need to catch up. So, three House committees on Wednesday co-hosted a hearing in which a pair of whistleblowers testified that the FBI slow-walked its investigation into Hunter Biden. How much trouble is he in? The House Oversight Committee and the Republican-controlled committees in the House have spent much of the year over-promising and under-delivering when it comes to major revelations about President Biden. Nearly all of them have something to do with the travails of his son, Hunter. The Oversight Committee and two other committees on Wednesday co-hosted a hearing in which a pair of IRS agent whistleblowers testified that the Justice Department, quote, slow-walked its investigation into Hunter Biden and ignored recommendations to file felony tax charges, Axios reported. Whether the hearing was a massive blockbuster or a dud appears to have mostly been a matter of partisan opinion, at least so far. The hearing, per Axios, has something in common with most previous congressional investigatory bombshells. It, quote, fell short of producing any evidence of wrongdoing by Biden himself. The whistleblowers who testified were Gary Shapley, who revealed his identity weeks ago, and the man previously known as Whistleblower X, who came forward and testified under his real name, Joseph Ziegler. Republicans made such a big deal about Ziegler being openly gay and a Democrat, and the phrase "gay Democrat" was trending on Twitter on time for a time on Wednesday. Why the fuck does it? I guess Democrat is slightly important, but who gives a shit if he's gay? Oh my fucking Shapley, as he had said previously, he said that he and others were told in a 2022 meeting that U.S. Attorney David Weiss did not have the power to bring charges in jurisdictions other than Delaware. Both Weiss and Attorney General Merrick Garland have strongly disputed that account. The whistleblowers that tax prosecutors in the DOJ drafted a 99-page memo in 2022, pushing for both felony and misdemeanor tax charges against Hunter Biden, although he ultimately pled guilty only to misdemeanor charges. However, disagreements among prosecutors about what type of case can be made are far from rare, and not necessarily a sign of any type of wrongdoing. Quote, key to Democrats' defense is the argument that disagreements between prosecutors and investigators are routine, and that several of the episodes occurred during the Trump administration, undermining allegations of political bias, Axios said in its report about the hearing. Quote, Republicans who called in the hearing didn't really move the ball forward. Democrats, meanwhile, surfaced a theory that this was effectively all one big misunderstanding. A theory that the key witness flatly rejected, Aaron Blake wrote for the Post. Former prosecutor Barbara McQuaid put forward the hypothesis for MSNBC earlier this month, and Representative Jamie Raskin from I forgot my state abbreviations. Anyway, a top Democrat on the Oversight Committee said something similar on the day of the hearing, per the Post. Quote, a lot of the controversy here relates to the agent's failure to distinguish between special counsels and special lawyers. Raskin said, Mr. Weiss took a good hard look at those changes himself and ultimately decided not to charge them, and therefore not to seek this special attorney status. He may have been right about that, he may have been wrong, as you guys make your case for, but it was his decision. Meanwhile, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican from Georgia, drew fire the day of the hearing by introducing explicit photos of explicit photos of Hunter Biden. Greene, quote, briefly sent Wednesday's House oversight into chaos when she displayed nude photos of President Joe Biden's son engaging in sexual activities, prompting committee Democrats to deem her the latest attention-grabbing stunt inappropriate, the Daily Beast said. She also asked witnesses if they think that Hunter Biden's, quote, involvement with prostitutes violated any federal laws. I mean, yeah, if they're underage. I mean, yeah, but what the fuck do I know, right? Insinuations about Biden's proclivities aside, the hearing did not serve to put Hunter Biden into any more trouble. The focus appears to be more about showing a conspiracy among Democrats and the Department of Justice to protect Hunter Biden and his father. However, it didn't appear the congressional Republicans succeeded in preventing anything like that. I mean, like, okay. Let's be real now. So, I'm not necessarily a fan of Trump, and I don't really give a shit about Biden's. Biden barely knows what day of the week it is. His son has so many. He doesn't just have skeletons in his closet. He's like a fucking bone collector. Okay. And what's the worst that Trump has done? He fucked Stormy Daniels, and then tried to pay her for hush money. He said grab him by the pussy in a locker room, and he drinks like 20 cans of Diet Coke a day. Like, come on now. pull your fucking head out of your ass. I'm not a fan of either of these people. This country is still a joke, and I will repeat that to my last breath until things change. But is it really that hard to decide at this point? So who is it that says that there's some bias? People are trying to turn a blind eye to these investigations. Why? It's because these people are in power right now. You talk about it. You talk about the election being stolen in 2020, you get censored. You talk about Kororo being not so much of a big fucking deal and the government fucked up a lot of things, well, you get censored. Like, open your fucking eyes. Like, how much more obvious does it need to be? Are you going to wait until the liar says that, admits that he's lying? How is it even a lie anymore? If you can, like, how are people this fucking stupid? Oh my god. Anyway, I'm sure there's other people that could say this, make this exact same statement way better than I could. But it's just like, Christ, come on, give me a break. Okay, we only have three more topics. So, courtesy of Alcohol Gaming, he sent me this. July 16th. Landscaper fatally runs over homeless woman sleeping in California park with lawnmower. Yeah, this is some fucking horror movie shit. God damn. Some things about the story just doesn't make sense. First, this picture must have been her before she decided to be homeless. This doesn't look like a homeless woman. Second, okay, so this paragraph right here. So Christine Chavez was lying down, and then the quote unidentified worker said he didn't see the sleeping woman until he noticed a body in the grass he had already made a pass through. Like, how fucking tall is the grass where you can't see a human body lying there? That doesn't fucking add up, dude. And you just hear, and then the blades go through. You just hear, like, how big of a mower can you just mow before you don't notice that, oh, there's a huge fucking kathunk. You didn't hear it. You didn't feel this fucking smack on the cabin of on the chassis of your mower. So this is a John Deere tractor with a pull behind mower. So is this like an agricultural tractor? Because that's a fucking big ass mower. Holy shit. Okay, I guess if it's a tractor, then yeah, it's possible. Like, if she's lying in like a fucking field of like grass that's a meter tall, like maybe. But then why the fuck would you sleep? Like, if I were a bum, I would fucking sleep in like shallower grass, maybe. Cool, we have to go see the place because we wanted some kind of closure, and to be right there looking at the ground and all of a sudden seeing chunks of her is horrible. I mean, yeah. I guess it would be mildly upsetting. Quote, even when they go to pick up a dog from the street, they take more time. Well, okay, either one, something doesn't fucking add up about this article, and someone's lying, or two, I mean, that just shows you, like, the public attitude towards homeless people. Like, why are these people homeless? For the most part, it's a choice. Disabled people, they go on welfare. But people who are able-bodied and homeless, like, they choose to be homeless. Which I can see some appeal in it, in the sense that you have no responsibilities. You just find food, find somewhere to sleep, and don't die, and that's all you have to worry about. It's very simple. No bills, no headaches. For the most part, you don't have to deal with other people's bullshit. No one can steal anything from you because you own nothing. Yeah. So, like, someone's fishy about this. So, quote, Chavez's father, Christopher, I'm blind, said he was able to pocket pieces of his daughter's bones, skull, and teeth in the days after her death. That's a little weird. The woman's family believes that the careless handling of her remains might be because she was one of the city's thousands of homeless residents. Chavez, who has a 9-year-old daughter, has been transient for the last 3 or 4 years and often slept at the park. who was officially acquired by nearby E&J Gallo Winery the day before the tragic death, according to Modesto B. Oh, so they're cleaning. Okay, so they're cleaning up the winery, and then they're mowing the grass, and then like, oh voila, you just literally mowed over a grown woman. Fucking goddamn. The 12-acre park was frequented by unhoused people and was once an authorized camping site for the area's homeless before the ownership change. The other homeless people said they saw Chavez wash her hair in the park's creek before going to sleep on a hill near the playground and baseball field. 20 minutes later, the mower came through. I also don't know how you not hear that. I mean, you must be tweaked out of some really good drugs in order to not hear a fucking tractor. Like, agricultural tractor. Let's see how big these pull-behind mowers are. John... Ooh, you see my suggestion there. John Deere... trailer mower. I'm trying to get a visual example of this. Tow mower. So okay, from what I understand, it's a tractor that tows a mower. Tractor mower. No, that's probably not that, because the article said it's towed behind a tractor. So what does this look like? John Deere tractor with a pull-behind mower. All right, whatever. Let's go look this up then. Pull-behind mower. Like this? No. Okay, if it's like this... Okay, so John Deere tractor, so I guess we need to look at, like, what weight class. Like, is that the shit you see in farms, or just like a suburbanite backyard mower like this? If it's like this, then how do you even fucking... How's the grass so deep that she can just hide in there and not be seen? Like, what? What the No, this fucking article is just reeks of bullshit. I don't know. Chavez's family is now calling for justice in their loved one's death and for stronger Sydney ordinances that protect homeless people. I'm sure they were fucking talking shit about their daughter, when she decided, hey, I want to be homeless now, bye. And then all of a sudden now, okay, well now she's advocating. Fucking shut up. She didn't deserve that for that reason for being homeless, said her older brother Randy Chavez, 33 of Arizona. Quote, my sister was loved. The only thing she wanted was to be free. Quote, we wanted ordinances to change so it doesn't happen again. Regardless if they are homeless, they are still people and should be treated as the same as any other people. You know, okay, like, my opinion on the homeless. I don't think there's any reason to go exterminate them like that. But at the same time, we shouldn't be encouraging people to do this, kind of live like this. Especially when it comes at the expense of other people. So, what the okay, I know, people, you can fucking cry your crocodile tears about how mean this is. But just because your daughter died doesn't mean that it's really silly to just assert this to happen to for all other homeless people. Like, I know that your daughter died and you probably don't have much else better to do with your time. But why not focus on your own life at this point? Like, if you actually maybe, I don't know, maybe the homeless people in my area suck. But if you actually look at these people, like, I know it's a mixed bag, but I mean, not all of them, like, they're homeless for a reason. Usually not a good one. Okay? And at any given moment of their lives, they can work towards turning it around. But they don't want to. Because there's appeals to being homeless. Clearly. Otherwise, Miss Chavez here wouldn't have done it, right? These people made the choice to do so. And I respect their decision by leaving them behind. And leaving them to do their own thing. As long as they stay out of the bike path. Why do I give a shit? Anyway, oh, we'll save this for last. That's funny. This is some funny shit. All right, alcohol gaming. He's got another one. Here's an 8-minute video. Let's go watch it. Yawn.
Our law enforcement agency, that they will perform their duty. At this moment, let's pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you, asking you to cover us, oh God. Lord, when we've had a tragedy that has occurred here, we're lifting up the families of the victims, oh God, right now in the name of Jesus, that you would just touch them, that you would watch over them, that you would give them a peace, God, that surpasses all understanding. Lord, we pray for this community, the city of Hampton, as we go through this. God, we pray and ask that you would keep us on task and that we will focus on making sure that our community is safe. Lord, we just thank you, we praise you, and we magnify you. At this time, we're going to have our chief of police to come. He's going to give you some information regarding this incident and hopefully help bring this suspect to justice.
My name is James Turner. I'm the Chief of Police for the Hampton Police Department. First and foremost, the mayor mentioned this is a sad day. It's not normal for us, and as a community, we will breathe together. As a police department, we will do everything in our power to ensure that the person is brought to justice. Looking at a picture of Andre Langmore, born 11/3/1982. Around the time of 10:45 this morning, Mr. Langmore shot and killed 4 residents of the city of Hampton. All 4 victims are adults. There was 3 males, 1 female. We're not releasing the names of the victims at this time to ensure that the family has time to be notified and for them to grieve in private before it becomes public. I'd like to thank the Henry County Sheriff's Office, Henry County Police Department, Henry County Crime Scene Unit, the GDI, Henry County Fire Department, and Henry County EMA. Since 10:45 this morning, all hands have been on deck. It is our responsibility to investigate it and to bring the person to justice. Shortly before this press conference, we did obtain four warrants for murder for Mr. Langmore. Those warrants are active. We've taken many steps in getting it out to all necessary law enforcement and to the public. We will be turning over the apprehension to Sheriff Scandrick and the Henry County Sheriff's Office. We're going to have him come up and speak about that.
The Henry County Sheriff's Office is now in possession of 4 murder warrants for Mr. Andrew Longmore, date of birth 11/3/1982. Working in conjunction with the GBI, Henry County Police, U.S. Marshal, Henry County Fire, EMA, and every Metro Atlanta police public safety agency. This is an all hands on deck movement to make sure that we place Mr. Andrew Longmore in custody. The Henry County Sheriff's Office is also offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest and apprehension and prosecution of Mr. Longmore. If you see Mr. Longmore, please call 911. Do not approach him because he is known to be armed and dangerous. Any information with respect to the $10,000 reward and information that would help us in this hunt for Mr. Longmore is called Crime Stoppers, 404-577-8477. Again, 404-577-8477. As I've said before, unfortunately, doing these type of senseless crimes, the set is directed to you, Mr. Longmore. Wherever you are, we will hunt you down in any hole that you may be residing in and bring you to custody. Period. Anyone that has any information, let us know, because we will be actively looking for this individual until he's caught. Thank you.
Chief, what can you tell us about a possible motive? We do not have a motive at this time. It's still early in the investigation.
How many crime scenes were there?
We had at least 4 crime scenes that we're still actively investigating.
What happened there in the neighborhood? One house, multiple houses? Can you explain a little bit about what you're investigating?
Just that the four homicides occurred within that area, and that's the only information we have on it at this time.
Were they at 4 different locations in a close proximity?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Is he a resident of Hampton?
He is.
That's enough shitty audio.
We
An
are
update
on
real
with
quick.
breaking news, and we have more information on yesterday's mass shooting in Henry County, which claimed 4 lives. Here now, the very latest. You are looking live on the scene at Wagon Wheel Court in Jonesboro. We are told the hours-long manhunt for the alleged gunman, 40-year-old suspect Andre Longmore, came to an end here. Officers tracked Longmore to a home in this neighborhood. Their officers entered and got into a shootout. Longmore died. 3 officers injured, 1 airlifted, but we are told that all are expected to survive. We also learned the names of the 3 men and 1 woman who were killed yesterday. All were in their 60s and lived near the Dogwood Lake subdivision off McDonough Street in Hampton. This morning, Ron Jeffers was eulogized during a service at his house of worship, Pinecrest Baptist Church in McDonough.
Thank you for the testimony of Brother Ron. The kindness he treated others with. The song that he had in his heart and that he shared with others.
And we once again have team coverage on the very latest surrounding this fast developing story. We get right out to 11 Alive's Teresa Bowles live for us in Hampton.
The monster is dead. That's what Henry County Sheriff Reginald Scandrett said first before explaining that shootout with police that led up to the death of Andre Longmore. He said that police responded to Highway 138 and Mount Zion Parkway in Clayton County, and they actually saw those officers zooming by. Clayton County Police and Lovejoy Police were zooming by in the opposite direction as I was coming to the press conference on Terra Boulevard to get to that scene. We know that at least two officers were injured. One was so severe that they had to be life flighted to Grady Hospital, but both officers are expected to be okay. They would not release those names. We now know the victims, and those victims are Scott and Shirley Levitt, Steve Blizzard, and Ronald Jeffers. I actually spoke to some loved ones of Ronald who say he was a great guy, very active in his church. A lot of them not ready to speak right.
He was a great G. Look at this buddy. Oh, that's some good shit.
In his church, a lot of them not ready to speak right now. But we can say that the city manager confirmed that this was the saddest day in the city's 150 years. He said that they barely have homicides. The last one was 5 years ago. Here's what the sheriff had to say today.
Please continue to keep these officers in your prayers. Thank you to the collective work of these men and women behind me. It is an absolute honor to serve with them. It's an absolute honor to have this day that we can breathe a little bit easier and sleep a little bit better tonight that this monster is off of our streets.
There will be a vigil at Terry Jones Depot Park here in Hampton for those victims at 7:30 tomorrow. The community is invited to join. Live in Hampton, Teresa Bowles, 11 Alive News.
All right, well, there you go, AG. This topic sucks. Black guy goes on a shooting. Yeah, that never happens, right? Because only white supremacists do go on mass shooting. Fucking who cares? Whatever. All right, last topic. Funny topic. All right, so, oh my, I just had to I'm sorry, I can't fucking. Riley Gaines, quote, Leah said that Leah Thomas is so well endowed I had to refrain from looking. What a misleading headline. So, okay. For those who don't remember. Oh my god. Oh my god, she actually no, it wasn't. It was not misleading. Oh, apparently she literally said that to Bill Maher. She had to look away from Leah Thomas's will and oh, she had to refrain from looking. Oh man, she couldn't look away. Oh my god. Oh, I can't even fucking read this shit. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas is so well endowed that the female swimmer Riley Gaines had to refrain from looking at Thomas in the locker room that you shared during a meet. Oh, and a new podcast with Bill Maher dropping Sunday. Gaines, an advocate for women's sports, repeatedly declined to estimate Thomas's. But explain it. Oh god. Oh god, make it stop. But explain it. It is in proportion to the frame of a quote 6'4" male. Gaines tied against Thomas in the 2022 NCAA championships and since has become an outspoken activist against biological men and women's sports, saying it was unfair and that changing alongside Thomas in the locker room was weird and awkward. Oh man, homegirl's fucking looking at the D, bro. She can't look away from the Magnum Schlonga. She'd be like, oh damn. I'm racing against this. Oh my god. Oh. Some swimmers undressed in the janitor's closet to avoid Thomas. That was a situation I tried to refrain from looking at it entirely, Gaines said, according to a transcript of the Club Random podcast obtained first by the Daily Mail. Quote, we can't unsee it. Being that in space of the mail, it's like a bad car wreck. Oh my god, this is just too good. Oh man, I just love transgender sports. All this fucking... There's no better entertainment. Like, I've never laughed so hard looking at fucking news article. Oh, this is precious. Mwah! Brilliant! And no one's even fucking trying. Maher repeatedly grilled Gaines to the detail. Oh my god, poor girls. I'm gonna fucking cry, dude. Maher repeatedly grilled Gaines to the detail of the genitalia of Thomas, who joined the University of Pennsylvania's women's swim team after competing for 3 years in the men's squad. Quote, I was trying to run away from this question, Gaines answered. 6'4" male, use your imagination, she said. Gaines believes that biological males' greater strength and endurance make competition with women unfair, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fucking duh. In April, Gaines was ambushed and physically hit by a mob of trans rights protesters who stormed her speech, blah, blah. Okay, who cares? Fucking Leah Thomas got a huge cock. I think, quote, I even think using the term trans woman is giving Thomas some of our languages as woman. Gaines said in the podcast, I think trans woman is a subset of male. I do not believe trans women are women. Last week, former UPenn swimmer Paula Scanlon, she said she had, quote, nightmares for weeks after sharing a locker room with Thomas. But the cock's so big it fucking gives girls nightmares. Oh my god. Fucking home, quote unquote girl Leah Thomas so fucking... oh my god. So hung she gives bitches nightmares. Fuck me. Oh my god. In March 2022, Thomas won the women's 500-yard freestyle, becoming the first trans woman to claim a national title in swimming and becoming a symbol of trans athletes. Oh my god, my throat hurts. Trans rights activists say that trans women are real women or must be included in sports. Gaines, who comes from Tennessee and swam for the U of Kentucky team, says America needs, quote, more masculine men and praise World War II veterans. Okay, fucking GOP bullshit, whatever. That's the last time we had strong men, she said. Think about this. World War II, men lied about their age to get into enlist. Now in 2023, you have to men lying about their sex to get into women's sports or women's prisons or domestic shelters, sororities, bathrooms, or locker rooms, blah, blah, blah. So she blames society for banning masculinity as toxic and bad and undesirable. Yeah, it's all okay. So briefly touching about this now. Oh God, I finally stopped laughing. Holy shit, that is so funny. God. Oh. So back then, this goes back to like our first article about the fucking Russian lady who starved to death. Yeah. It's all about pride. Like I said, pride is a human need. And people, in order to meet... now there's no pride in the military. Who the fuck wants to serve under Joe Biden? Especially, like, for the usual, like, typically Republican voting crew that joins the military. Like, now joining the military is basically, like, you're basically a government cocksucker. The government doesn't actually give a shit about you. People don't give a shit about the government. There's no pride in being part of the military. That's why people don't beg about being in the military. So, young men are like, well, okay, society hates me because the presence of male presence makes women uncomfortable. And apparently society now orbits around women instead of, like, I don't know, praising men for dying in war, which is just as shameful, if you ask me, if you think about it, really, in the long run. What the hell else can I do? I guess supposedly, and pretending to be Leah Thomas, I failed to make a crack at, like, the pro league for men's swimming. So might as well just mop the floor in the women's league, make money being an athlete, which is a privilege for a lot of people. Why not? So, okay, well, this is funny. The organization, the International Swimming Federation, proposed an open category. They're adopting a, quote, new gender inclusion policy that only permits swimmers who transition before age 12 to compete in women's events. That's like, okay, then in that case, like, you have biological women who become trans men who shoot testosterone. That is also, like, that's literally steroids, testosterone. That gives these people, these biological females, an advantage over other biological females. And then you have biological males like Leah Thomas, absolutely kicking the ass of probably even. I mean, look. Thomas is 6'4". Like, he/she could probably beat, like, male to females as well. So they proposed an open competition category. So, like cycling, like fucking mountain bike racing, or cyclocross racing, there's open, and, like, I guess in the amateur leagues, I mean, like, jeez. And in that case, well, then people are gonna, and then they're gonna, well, I don't know, maybe that would adjust people's expectations. So, like, let's say, like, pro women versus the transgenders versus pro men. Well, then the pro men are gonna dominate. Maybe the transgenders, if, like, Leah Thomas, clearly, like, Leah Thomas isn't on hormones. Come on now, look at that. Thomas is a lean fucking racing machine. And like, look at, like, the thoracic width. Like, that's like, holy fuck. Like, that's just a men's competition at that point. And then women will probably lose that by, like, 15 to 20%, considering the gap and typical gap and dimorphic gap in, like, male versus females, in top performing males versus top performing females in endurance sports. And then they can't fucking complain about it anymore because, well, yeah, it's open. You're competing against men. What the fuck do you expect? So, this is just all quality entertainment. Plus, huge tranny cocks. Can you go wrong with that? Oh my god. I laughed through almost the entirety of this article. I fucking broke a record. This is fucking quality content. AG, why did you send me this? I just found this like fucking 30 minutes ago. Oh my god. Jesus. Okay, here's a bonus article. I know no one here actually gives a shit about nutrition, but I'll read it because I want to read it. Okay, here we go again. The new cycle turn. The cycle of the wheels of the new cycle turn one more revolution. The cranks go one more turn. The truth about ultra processed foods may be ultra complicated. By Mike Bourbonnais, senior editor, on July 20th. I know this is a bit old, but I mean it's still, God, man, I miss those TV dinners. Or not, as what I've just said earlier about the word healthy. For decades, the question of whether food is unhealthy or not is centered largely on what's in it. Does it have a lot of fiber and vitamins? Is there an excess of fat, salt, or sugar? But more recently, many experts have begun to believe how food is made may be just as important as what it's made of. With this updated way of looking at dietary health, a new village has emerged: ultra processed foods. Okay, well, while there's no universal definition, ultra processed foods generally refer to foods that have been heavily altered and frequently contain additives like preservatives, artificial flavors, and sweeteners, blah blah blah. You've heard this a million fucking times. In 2009, a Brazilian researcher in 2009 argued that nutrition systems only look at a food's makeup, like the food pyramid, ignore critical differences about how food. Okay, yeah, bioavailability, like I said earlier. Like, okay, so processed foods. Process means you remove the cellularity of the substance. You have more isolates. Isolated starch, isolated sugar, isolated oil, isolated protein to some degree. So, okay. Here's another fucking ad hoc or propter. The number one fallacy in science. How ultra-processed foods are linked to a wide range of health problems, including various types of cancer, obesity, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. You know what else these are correlated with? Obesity. So the problem isn't per se processed foods. The problem is not exercising, excess calories, body accumulates the calories in the form of fat. So that's what's causing all the health problems. Calories in, calories out. If you just eat one coffee cake a day, which is less than 200 calories at most, or one fruit pie a day, 400 calories, like a Hostess fruit pie. Anyone love those? You're gonna lose a lot of fucking weight, and you're gonna end up like fucking Samsonova. What is it? Oh shit. Should control T. Like the fucking vegan girl who starved to death that we just talked about. That's what you're gonna end up like, even though you're eating a diet of nothing but processed foods. So, oh my god, yeah, okay, well, I don't need to read this. This is nothing new here. Oh, government's going to regulate ultra processed foods. Well, then what the fuck am I gonna eat during a bike race now? Because you cocksuckers. I have to go to black market just to get my energy gels and sugar to not like burn way too many calories during a bike race. Like, fuck you guys. I know I'm just the beyond single digit minority of the population, but still. Oh, you fucking retards. I guess I'll just have to buy some like sugar from like the baking store and see. I'm just gonna cook something with it. I'm gonna bake, I don't know, a really low sugar cake, wink. And then the grocery store will be like, okay, no problem, wink. And then I'll just mix it in my drink and just drink that during the bike race. Like, oh my god, this fucking... It's cute. It's cute watching you fucking lemmings catch up to me. But eventually, maybe eventually you fucking figure out. Calories in, calories out. But take your time. I am in no hurry. So, bioavailability. Learn about it. Utilize it. Implement it in your own diet. You want to lose weight? Eat your fucking fruits and vegetables. And go exercise. And get your sleep right. Sleep is important for all kinds of shit. Like, how many times do I have to repeat myself? Until I get paid, I guess. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, that's it. Fuck it. That was a fun show. I had a nice long break. A well-deserved one, I guess. Yeah. So thank you, Alcoholic Gaming. Thank you very much for these articles. You saved me a lot of work. Hopefully we'll find some even better shit next week, but we'll see. If not, well, you know, I guess at this point, I mean, what can you even expect me to like run a show consistently? Probably not. But whoever the fuck is watching, like, you know, you're the top G's here. You're the MVPs. I don't know why the fuck you guys are watching my show. I don't even watch my show after I'm done with it. But yeah, that was fun. Stay real. See you next week, maybe, maybe not.